Imagine a time when the very fabric of existence feels fragmented, where echoes of lives not lived reverberate in your dreams. What if the past, present, and future aren't distinct lines, but pieces of a shattered mirror reflecting one singular truth about who you are? This profound question lies at the heart of Cada cabeza, el guardián del tiempo, with its evocative subtitle, Los tres tiempos del alma. Authored by Platino Brand, Ana Maria is this work not just a story, but a journey into the philosophical depths of self, time, and consciousness. It explores the radical idea that each human being is their own angel, demon, and guardian, and that the ultimate journey through time is always inward. In the silent chasm between thoughts, a consciousness stirs. It has no name, no face, no body, only memories. Fragments of lives it isn't sure it lived, dreams it isn't sure it dreamed, errors it isn't sure it committed. This echo begins to think, and in its thought, worlds materialize. A clock, its hands spinning backward, floats in a liquid sea. Each tick a memory, each talk a possibility. Below it, a mirror vibrates, revealing three distinct faces: an alchemist, a psychologist, a traveler. 3 moments in time, yet one soul. The echo ponders. What if time itself is an illusion? What if every mind is a universe holding the key to its own redemption? And so it decides to weave its story, not for understanding, but for remembrance. Because as the author tells us, cada cabeza es un mundo, and in that mundo somos nuestro propio juez, nuestro demonio, y nuestro salvador. Our journey begins in Lyon, France, in 1881, in the cluttered laboratory of Elias Morin. Elias doesn't believe in death, not because he's immortal, but because he's convinced he's found a way to trick it. Surrounded by mercury vials, copper symbols, and ancient texts on soul transmutation, Elias isn't seeking gold. He seeks time. Not the time measured by clocks, but the time that resides in dreams, in memories, in the mistakes that repeat across generations. His desperate quest began after his wife, Amelia, died unexpectedly in an absurd accident. Instead of mourning, Elias sealed himself away and began to write. He asked himself, if the soul can be divided, can it also be reunited? Alchemy offered symbolic answers: lead as shadow, gold as light, fire as transformation. But Elias yearned for tangible results. Every night he lit a ritual fire, placing a mirror before his clock. He watched as his reflection distorted, and then he wrote. He documented seeing a woman in his dreams, not Amelia, but a woman with modern eyes who called him Elias as if she knew him, telling him that time itself was broken. He began to dream of a futuristic city with crystal buildings and people holding strange machines. The woman spoke of psychology, of shadows, of collective memory. The unsettling thought took root. What if that woman is me in another time? Could his consciousness inhabit other bodies, other eras? As his clock began to fail, its hands spinning erratically, the mirror showed faces that weren't his. Then, in the dead of winter, a butterfly appeared in his lab. Elias followed it to the basement, where he found a book he didn't remember writing, Los tres tiempos del alma, by Platino Brand. The name was impossible, unknown in his time. He trembled, realizing, I'm being written by someone else. The fire died, the mirror shattered, and Elias fell to his knees, hearing the distant echo. Cada cabeza es un mundo, y en ese mundo somos nuestro propio juez, nuestro demonio, y nuestro salvador. Elias soon found himself in his laboratory once more, the fire crackling, a circle of black salt, and alchemical symbols around the broken clock. The liquid mirror, still vibrating, showed not his own face, but that of a woman. Leah, he whispered, a name he didn't recognize. This ritual, a desperate pursuit for years, felt different. The clock wasn't marking hours, it was marking memories. When he placed his hand on the glass, a butterfly, impossible in winter, emerged from the reflection and landed on his finger. Time isn't measured. A phrase written in light appeared on the mirror. It's felt. As the fire intensified and the circle began to spin, the clock spoke, not with words, but with images. A modern city, a woman in therapy, a child drawing broken clocks, and a voice declaring, "Trauma is a fracture in time." Ilyas collapsed, realizing the ritual had worked, opening a door not as he expected. The profound thought struck him. Each traumatic event is a rupture in the personal timeline. The soul, unable to process it, fragments. This fragmentation becomes shadow. The alchemy of the soul is to reunite these fragments, not to return to the past, but to integrate the present. That very night, a hooded stranger visited Ilyas carrying a pocket watch that spun backwards. "Do you seek answers or redemption?" the man asked. "I seek to understand why I dream of a woman not yet born," Ilyas replied. The man smiled. "Because she is you, in another time, another body, another form of consciousness." Vertigo consumed Ilyas as the fire extinguished and the mirror turned opaque. The stranger left behind a fragment of mirror etched with a butterfly, a key, he said, for when Ilyas was ready to cross. Ilyas wrote in his journal, "Today I understood that time isn't a line, but a fractal. Each decision creates a ramification, each emotion a distortion, and each shadow an opportunity for integration." Leah Moreau, that name haunts me. I don't know if she's my daughter, my reflection, or my future, but I know I must find her. Taking the mirror fragment, Ilyas lit the fire, placed the clock, and uttered the words he'd found in the stranger's diary. "May time fold, may shadow reflect, may the soul reunite." The lab filled with light, the mirror absorbed him, the clock stopped, and Ilyas disappeared. Now, we shift to Paris, France, in 2025. Leah Moreau wakes with tears, a vivid, fragmented dream lingering. An alchemist in a robe, a clock spinning backward, and a lab engulfed in fire, and the persistent echo, Cada, cabeza es un mundo. It's 3:33 a.m. again. Always that time, always that number. As a clinical psychologist specializing in trauma and recurrent dreams, Leah finds her own dreams overwhelming. They aren't symbolic. They're narrative, as if a story from another time is being told through her. She writes in her dream journal, "I saw a man who called me by my name. He told me I was him, that time was broken, that I must remember." The philosophical insight here is that the dream is not an escape, it's an integration. Each dream image is a fragment of consciousness seeking to return to the center. When we dream of others, we dream of ourselves in another form. That very morning, Leah consults with a 9-year-old boy who draws broken clocks and butterflies, talks of past lives, and fears mirrors. "Why do mirrors scare you?" Leah asks. "Because they show me things that aren't here, like windows to another world." The boy draws a symbol, a circle with 3 crossed lines. "It's the symbol of broken time," he says, and Leah recognizes it from her own dreams. That night, at a museum of ancient sciences, Leah finds a liquid mirror in a display case. Fragment recovered from Lyon, 1881. Belonged to the alchemist Elias Morin. The mirror vibrates, though only Leah perceives it. She sees her face split. A woman, a man, a traveler. We are not 3. We are 1. In her diary, Leah writes, "My dreams aren't mine. They're shared. As if a greater consciousness uses my mind to remember. Elias Morin. I saw him in the museum. His mirror recognized me. Am I dreaming the past? Or is the past dreaming me?" Lighting a candle, Leah places the mirror before her clock, speaking the words from her dream. "May time fold, may shadow reflect, may the soul reunite." The mirror vibrates, the clock stops,
the butterfly vanishes, and Leah dreams of the future.
Our final perspective emerges in 2121 Neuronova City, a city suspended between fractal lights and liquid structures, where buildings reconfigure with the emotions of their inhabitants and time is measured in pulses of consciousness. Orion is a traveler, not of space, but of mind, tasked with repairing the time network, not with machines, but with memory. He understands that each temporal fracture is a wound in the collective consciousness. His mentor, Kale, taught him that past, present, and future are layers of the same mind, but the timelines are collapsing. Echoes of the 19th and 21st centuries mingling, all centered on one figure, Elias Meren. The philosophical wisdom here is that consciousness isn't linear. It's fractal. Each decision, emotion, memory generates a ramification. The time traveler doesn't move in lines, but in patterns, and each pattern is a story seeking completion. Orion receives a signal, a broken clock floating in a liquid mirror. He must find its origin. We are not three. We are one. He activates the memory portal, not a machine, but a ritual. He lights blue fire, places the mirror, and speaks the words, "May time fold, may shadow reflect, may the soul reunite." The portal opens, showing Elias writing in his lab, Leah dreaming in her bed, and his own face divided within both. I am the echo that thinks, he understands. Kale appears, a butterfly of light. You've seen too much, Orion. You're remembering what hasn't yet happened. And what if it already happened? What if I'm just repeating? Orion asks. Kale transforms into a mirror. Then your mission isn't to repair. It's to integrate. The time network isn't healed by correction. It's healed by compassion. A blue butterfly with golden spots lands on the clock. Orion follows it to a liquid structure that transforms into a book, Los Tres Tiempos del Alma, authored by Orion himself. He'd never written it. I'm being written by someone else.
Now, we enter an interzone of consciousness, a space without coordinates. Leah floats, experiencing neither dream nor waking, but an intermediate state where the memories of Elias, Orion, and herself intertwine like threads of light. She's inside the network. Not a technological one, but a symbolic one, woven from memories, traumas, desires, and soul fragments. She walks on fractals that open like flowers, each revealing a scene, Elias writing, Orion traveling, and herself crying before a mirror. We are not three, we are one. The collective consciousness, she realizes, is not a sum of individuals, but a network of shared symbols. Each personal trauma affects the common fabric. Each act of individual redemption heals the entire network. Leah reaches a dark node, seeing Elias cradling Amelie, Orion failing a mission, and herself abandoning her mother in a hospital. 3 moments, 3 wounds, a single origin. The fear of loss. Time fractures when the soul cannot hold the pain. When Leah places her hand on the node, she feels Elias's pain, Orion's guilt, her own shame. The node illuminates not by evasion, but by integration. To accept is to heal. Elias appears before her, not as a ghost, but as a reflection. Who are you? Elias asks. I am you, Leah replies, in another time, in another form. Elias weeps, not from sadness, but from recognition. Then I am not alone. As Leah takes his hand, a clock appears between them, its hand spinning forward. The mirror shows Orion. The network is reuniting. They understand that the soul has no time, only layers, and each layer is a story seeking completion.